What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Out of the Darkness. I am Q. So I had to come to you guys and talk to you real quick about a couple of different things. We had a fantastic weekend for all of you guys that got a chance to celebrate Independence Day. So glad. Hope you had a safe one. Hope you enjoyed your family. Probably ate too much, but a great time to reflect on the great nation that we live in and how fortunate we are to live in a nation that still has many freedoms. But there aren't not everybody, okay, especially those in government, are happy to see America prosper. Not everyone is happy to see unity and love. Not everyone is happy to see the freedoms, especially those elites. So yesterday, they couldn't help themselves. Maxine Waters thought it important to make sure that she reminds black people and people of color that they are still oppressed. I mean, I can't speak for that. I'm not black, as though I have told all of y'all. Sherwin-Williams says I am Sandy Beige 42, so I can't identify as black, but I can speak. I know a lot of black people. My best friend was black, so I can speak a little bit on the topic. I'm not oppressed, and most black people are not oppressed. Those that are typically oppressed more by other blacks for thinking differently, and the mainstream media for thinking and daring to think differently than the way that they are told to think. So Maxine Waters is attempting to oppress other black people and to make them perpetual victims, because as long as they are victims, they will not focus on how the government and how the mainstream media and elites are robbing us all blind. But we'll focus more on fighting against each other. And I am dedicated to the destruction of that dangerous ideology. So she comes out and she says that she tweets out that July 4th, and so the Declaration of Independence says all men are created equal. Equal to what? What men? Only white men? Isn't it something that they wrote this in 1776 when African Americans were enslaved? They weren't thinking about us when they wrote it, but were thinking about us now. First off, you please tell me, Miss Maxine Waters, why don't you live in the district that you actually represent? You don't represent them. You represent yourself. You live in a multi-million-dollar mansion, Auntie Maxine, and we know that. I've seen it. So don't try to act like you are on the same level as the people you represent. But let's also take it another step further. Why are we focusing on what happened in 1776, by which we can get into talking about the Declaration of Independence, and that actually began the independence of black people and the independence of slaves. The freedom from slavery began in 1776 in most northern states. So let's be honest about that. But let's also be honest about the fact that why can't we focus on the fact that we went from 1776 in having slavery and counting black people as 3/5 of a person to then moving to today in 2021, where the same woman who now sits in an elite class and has been voted in for decades as a United States Congressperson and now looking to be promoted to a senator, that this woman has the gall to talk to me and us about the oppression of black people when she sits upon the top of the pyramid. Please tell me how America is racist again, Auntie Maxine. Please tell me how you are a victim of a system. To go from, in what, 4, 5 generations, to go from slavery to a black president to go from slavery to her being a U.S. congressperson? Spare me. Please spare me. She goes on to say further in the Declaration of Independence, it says, we hold these truths to be self-evident. Yet in 17 states have enacted voter suppression laws. Please stop with the rhetoric. Voter suppression laws? Are you kidding me? Really? Telling people that they have to prove who they are in order to vote? Telling people that we are going to hold their right to vote sacred? That we are not going to allow illegal voting, but we are going to require that every vote that is counted legally, and that every vote must be legal in order to be counted? How is that partisan? How do you get elected as a U.S. Congresswoman and you don't want legal voting? That makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. Who are you truly fighting for is what I want to know, Auntie Maxine. But then chimed in, Corey Bush from Missouri says, when they say that July 4th is about American freedom, remember this. The freedom they're referring to is white people. This land was stolen land, and black people still aren't free. As you enjoy your office in the U.S. Capitol. You see how these people want to pretend to be something that they are not? They tend to feed off of division, to sow seeds of discord amongst blacks and whites and elderly and young and gay and straight and men and women, old and young. They thrive off of division. We must become unified. I refuse to get into this Republican versus Democrat because I'm finding that the Republicans, for the most part, are just as evil as the Democrats in many cases. There are some good ones, please don't get me wrong. There are some very good ones, and we will do everything we can to vote in more good Republicans and more good lawmakers. But these rhinos are just as evil, if not more evil, because they present themselves as being friends and they stab us in the back. But these people cannot get away with this. Maxine Waters cannot be allowed to get away with this. I had to come to you guys and talk to you about this because we live in a great nation, and rather than empowering young black people, and rather than telling them how great of an opportunity they have to live in this nation and become whatever they want to be, and to be free from whatever it is that is holding them down and oppressing them, they convince them that they are victims of white people. And they will continue to be victimized. Could it be because they are a victim of a system created by the Democrats? Could that be? I think it is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys comment below. Make sure you guys continue to please support us. We now have a new YouTube channel, so be looking for that. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time.